least what stands out the most to me, it's got to be that run defense, right? One of the top run defense, the top run defense in the Pac-12. Looking at the stats here, 91 yards a game, so super stingy up front. Let's start there. What can you tell me about how this team's been able to slow down the run so well?
Yeah, so I think the interesting thing here is a lot of people who watch UCLA or maybe watch that Arizona State game, which was big, or that Fresno State game with the crazy fourth quarter there by Fresno State. You know that UCLA's pass defense isn't very good. So when you see those run defense numbers, you probably just assume like, oh, it's just because teams don't run against them because they know they can pass. So whatever. But then you look a little deeper into the stats. They're also number one in the Pac-12 in yards per attempt allowed at 3.2. So guys really aren't breaking up big plays on the ground on them. And then you just go to the nation as a whole. They're ninth in the country in rushing yards allowed per game. And then it only drops to 15 when you go yards per carry. So they're efficient in the run defense, and just because of the way their games have played out, it's looked pretty good in the gross numbers too. I think a lot of that has to do with the veteran defensive line up front. Odoa Isibor, Tito Obonya, Ty Manoa, Daytona Jackson, all kind of interior / defensive end kind of guys. And then I would say a big part has been moving Bo Calvert from inside linebacker down into the Raider, the Bruins spot in the 4-2-5 defense. He was always a good veteran player at inside linebacker, but you could tell there wasn't really a fit with the position there. You move him to the outside linebacker kind of role, and he's played really well in both pass rush and the run defense. I think he and Carl Jones, who play that position, have been a really big part. And you got Quantrez Knight and Martell Irby, the two guys playing striker, the nickel position for them, who have also been really good. I think that's just really helped them suffocate the opposing teams behind the line of scrimmage and just turn into a really good run defense for the second year in a row. Last year's run defense was pretty good. This year's is looking even better.
Got some names to keep an eye on there. Talking with Sam Connon, UCLA publisher for Sports Illustrated, SIL Bruins. If you're just joining us, with this defensive line, it looks like, having that strength in the interior is going to be something to watch because Oregon is rooted in the rushing attack. Travis Dye had a great game. I feel like, maybe people were a little skeptical. Is he going to be able to run it in between the tackles and be that physical guy like Verdell was? And, they're different players, right? You can't expect Dye to do everything that Verdell did, but Dye is special in his own right. Since we're talking about the Oregon offense and how they're going to combat that run defense that UCLA has. I think I'm gonna be interested to see how the running back rotation shakes out. We saw Byron Carwell get some carries against Cal, but they have a ton of talented backs with Trey Benson as well. He's going to be in the rotation. Cristobal said that he's healthy. He's good to go this week as it pertains to his status and being available. And then you also have Seven McGee, who just seems like a big play waiting to happen. Reminds me a little bit more of Travis Dye. Just super explosive and kind of a quick twitch guy that I think that the offense should get a little bit more involved here. But it's an interesting situation with the running backs because you never want anyone to get hurt. The staff's definitely and the team's definitely going to miss CJ this year. But if you flip the other side of the coin, these unfortunate circumstances give Oregon the opportunity to see what they have in a lot of these really young running backs. So UCLA has Charbonnet and Britton Brown, but the Ducks have some talented running backs that they can, trot out there, and you're going to have to give them some carries at some point. You don't want them to go into next year, just super, super green and not knowing what's going on. So I think that'll be something to watch for in this one, how that shakes out. We still don't really know what the rotation's going to look like because, to be honest, we didn't see much of a rotation against Cal. Travis Dye was the offense for Oregon. Anthony Brown had some touchdowns as well, but obviously it's running through Dye.